Matt Porter's here from Matt Porter Web Design, based at Innovation Martlesham at Adastral Park. He's our gadget guru. Good morning.
Good morning.
Before we talk gadgets, can we talk about these Microsoft scams? Because Microsoft will never ring you up, will they? They will never ring you up and say your computer's running slow. But they are very plausible. Barry in Bury St Edmunds texting in. I also got conned with the Microsoft scam. They took me for £100 initially, but having got my card details, took over £1,000 subsequently. I reported it to Lloyds Bank, who refunded my money and issued a new card with new numbers. They also advised me to have my laptop checked. Good advice, as a program had been added to record my keystrokes so that they would have been able to view all my passwords, says Barry.
Yeah. Well, if you're giving people access to your computer, you're giving them access to do whatever they see fit. What actually happens normally is that you'll get a phone call from these people, and they'll say there's a worm, or there is a problem with your computer. There's an error with your computer. Are you in front of it? And then they get you to type in a couple of commands, and what that command does is actually cause an error. So it then brings an error message up on the screen, and they say, yes, you have got an error. And because you've seen there's an error message, it then becomes slightly more plausible. And at that point, you then give them remote access to your computer, and then really that's it. That's sort of game over, really, because they can install whatever they like on that computer and revisit it later times. So they're never going to ring you. They're never, ever going to ring you.
So whatever it is, if it comes out of the blue, just dismiss it.
I would suggest saying to them, do I need to report this to the police? And they will then hang up on you.
Straight away.
And that'll be the end of the telephone call.
Okay. The other thing I just want to talk to you about before we look at your review this week, which was an Audi car.
That's right, yeah.
Front page of The Sun this morning, Affairs website hacked, sextortion is the headline. This is Ashley Madison, which is a website that's been set up to encourage people to have affairs. So people sign up, put their preferences, what they like sexually on the website, match up with somebody else, and they could, if they want, have an affair. Now, it seems as if this website's been hacked, and there'll be an awful lot of people, The Sun today, suggesting 1 million people have signed up for this in the UK who might be very worried that their stuff's going to be sent out there.
Yeah, I think that there's sort of two sides to this. Firstly, there's people concerned that their personal information has been leaked and is available, such as what appears to be credit card transactions and things like that. Secondly, there's also accounts that have been leaked which were people had paid to have their details removed. So they pay $19 to have their accounts permanently deleted, and it would appear that that didn't take place as well. So there's an issue there. So yes, people can. I think that there's also the concern that people might feel they've been found out. But it turns out from a bit of investigation this morning that there was a hole in their password retrieval.
So it wasn't as secure as it could have been.
The problem they had, from what I understand, was that if you went into, say you decided that your husband was playing away, you could go to their website and say, I've forgotten my password, put in their email address, and then it would say, we've sent you a password reset. If you weren't on theirs, it would say, we can't find your account. So you could discover your partner was on that site without even having to go to any great lengths. But this is just another, this is just another website which is storing too much information, which is apparently too easy to get at.
So we were always told, oh, don't worry, online banking, all this kind of stuff, everything is safe and secure, you don't have to worry. Every day we seem to have stories about how leaky the web is.
It would seem that way, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's not the be-all and end-all. I mean, everything's moving over towards it.
Well, that's a danger, I would suggest. I wouldn't turn around and say, oh, it's completely safe, because evidently we only have to look at the news for the last 3 or 4 years to see that it isn't. Hopefully, these people, we learn, these companies that build sites like this and the security behind it, that they learn very quickly from these mistakes. yeah, it's a bit of a problem, really. I don't really know what to say on that, other than it would seem that there is a problem with the security.
As soon as the firewalls are up, are they still called firewalls?
Firewalls, yeah.
As soon as they're up, there's people who can hack them down.
It's not necessarily the firewalls, it's the technology behind and the back doors in and things like that. There's a lot of well-known ways to get into websites, and it's making sure that all spaces are covered, if you like. So, yeah.
OK, well, there'll be more on that. So that's Ashley Madison. So if you've signed up to that...
It makes a good story as well, because of obviously the content of the site.
Yeah.
It's really a dating site that's got a particular spin on it.
Yeah, OK. Well, just before we talk about your review this week, let's have a word with James Hazel, who has just snuck in to the studio. Hello there.
I've snuck in. How are we all?
We're very well.
Isn't it warm? How are you?
I'm very well, thanks very much.
It's hot, isn't it?
It's very, very close.
What a scorcher.
Not in here, it's not.
No, that's true. It's quite nice, though.
It's lovely.
In fairness. Today, then on the show for this Tuesday, one of our lunchtime kids, Chloe, has failed her maths exam again for the 14th time. So we need some advice and handy hints for taking and passing exams. You got any technology, Chris, that could help us out?
You could, for instance, I think maybe the in-ear headphones and things like that are normally
against
quite...
the rules?
Oh, they're cheating. I thought you were asking ways of cheating.
Oh, no. We want to try and pass it genuinely.
Then I the way that I've always learned things...
thinking cheating as well.
The way I would still say headphones and listen to it, listen to this information
just
in
hear it
bed
back and
and just keep playing it over and over again. Yeah.
All right, OK, so we'll take your thoughts on that. Back in the day will be 1998 and 1958. Also on the mixtape, Karen Hare of Cancer Campaign in Suffolk, choosing the music Mystery Voice on day 5, I think, maybe even 6. And Weather Week, what is in store, especially the weekend, for the next 7 days. So that's all to come from
good, yeah, I'm going camping at the weekend. So,
what, again?
Afraid so.
Good for you.
Afraid so. Football season starts in a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's true. You'll be back into it, won't you?
I've got to get them in before the football starts.
Yeah. Where do you go, by the way? I mean, do you have a list of sites that you prefer, or do you just scattergun approach? Do you just look at a map and point?
Well, we're going about a mile out of Ipswich.
Oh, right, OK. Because I had a look
at actually, probably half a mile out, I think.
I was quite surprised by the pricing of one or two places that I looked up. Yeah.
Well, you've got
one
heftier
particular
taste than I have.
One particular forest that you and I are fond of, for instance, wanted quite proper money.
Did they?
To be able to sleep in it for the night.
But you go glamping rather than camping.
I'd like to say yes, but I don't really know what glamping is. But I'll find.
Glamorous camping, I think.
Oh yeah.
He's always glamorous.
Take
wherever
all
he
my
goes.
technology with me. Absolutely right.
All on the way. I should be listening out for that later on.
Lovely.
To see whether I need to take me Pack-a-Mac or not. James with you in not very long at all, 12 minutes. So, look, Matt's here, and you've been reviewing a car this week. Tell me about this car.
Yes, it is the Audi A3 e-tron.
E-tron, so we're talking about another e-car.
Yes, another hybrid.
They're all coming out with them, aren't they?
Yeah, there seems to be a never-ending supply of hybrid cars, and when I think I'm at the end of sort of a review, a series of reviews, more come along. There are others coming along in the next few months. Audi, this is just to look at. Is an absolutely amazing looking car. I think that they've picked a particular colour, red in this case, which is spectacular. It's amazing. It's a very, very nice car. It's very similar to the Volkswagen Golf because they're actually shared. They're the same company.
Because you reviewed one of those, didn't you? An e-Golf the other
Volkswagen GTE. Yeah. Very similar, same size engine. The running gear, I guess, is reasonably similar. Very nice inside, very nice to drive. It has several different modes. When you start it up, it goes straight into electric mode. So you just very quietly pull away wherever you are. Then it works out, if you're putting your foot down a lot, it will then engage the petrol engine because it doesn't want to use all the electricity up if you're driving in that manner. It has hybrid modes. It has a hybrid mode which is using a balance of the two, so it will go to electric in slow traffic. It will go back to petrol if you're on fast moving road. There's battery save, which means it will keep the charge of the battery, and there's also battery charge, so it will actually charge the battery up again. And then finally you have sport mode, which I discovered. Took me a little bit of discovering, but when I did discover it, I realised quite how amazing the car was. Once sport mode's engaged, it uses the 1.4 litre turbocharged engine alongside the electric motor, so you get just over 200 brake horsepower.
It's incredible technology, isn't it, really?
It's amazing.
And the reason
technology.
so many of these are coming on stream now is because cities like London, I guess Manchester, Birmingham, certainly London leading the way, they will be green cities, won't they? Where
It's
we'll
about
have to have this kind of vehicle.
From what it would appear, that's the plan, is that there will be green cities where the petrol diesel engines are no longer allowed. You need to be powering your car using an electric motor. So yes, I mean, there's been changes recently with regard to the budget which might affect the appeal of these cars, because it's about zero rated tax and zero congestion charge. Well, it appears that the road tax is now going to go to a flat rate anyway, regardless of type of car. So there's lots of different changes being made, but as an appealing vehicle, actually it is, because you get the performance. In this case, you get the performance, the comfort, but you also get the incredible fuel economy, which is pretty impressive, I must admit.
And the cost of this?
As ever, there is a premium there's a premium to hybrid technology. In this case, I think they're looking at 35,000.
Wow.
Again, the press car that I have is fully loaded, and they actually do state it is 40,000, which is fairly pricey.
I mean, eventually this kind of technology will become more affordable, won't it? And do you suspect all cars will move in this direction?
I would think that, assuming the battery pricing comes down, because it's the batteries that cost a lot of money, and obviously there's other technology in there which is more expensive because you've got two motors, but once that pricing of batteries comes down, which is very likely because they'll be mass produced, then I would assume most cars, new cars, will come with that sort of facility on board.
If you want to find out more about the Audi e-tron, then go to thegadgetman.org.uk, thegadgetman.org.uk, and all the other e-vehicles and e-bikes and everything else that Matt reviews is on there as well. thegadgetman.org.uk for more details. Matt, thank you very much. Matt Porter runs his web design company at Innovation Martlesham on Adastral Park. He is our gadget guru. thegadgetman.org.uk for more on that Audi and others as well.
BBC Radio Suffolk Travel.
The